Alright, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to attempt to install the Carbnlab turbo inlet onto the B9 S4, S5, probably the SQ5 at some point. I'm sure the install will be the same. So the version I got is the 4-inch carbon adapter to pair with 4-inch inlet on the filter. And see, you got the Rev 2 kit, so it's got the extension tube, the focus, everything else. So yeah, let's jump right into it. I'm actually going to be pairing this with the ECS heat shield that I already have. I'm going to take this off. Obviously that gets replaced. I'm going to cut down into here to hopefully allow it to sit right in there. I thought about drilling out the hole, but it seems like too much work, so I'm just going to cut all the way down. So let's get started. Okay, flash forward a few minutes. We got the ECS intake off. Pretty simple. So now we're going to cut out from here down to allow the new inlet to fit through. And you could already see a little comparison from the ECS filter. Some people want to reuse this, not a big deal. I think they make a 3.5 inch joiner, but so we got from 3.5 all the way up to 4 to go directly onto it, so there's no reducers or anything needed, but pretty big difference. So I'm gonna hack away at this and we will see the finished product here in a second. Alright guys, so about 20-25 minutes later, we got the new hole cut out in the heat shield. Not the cleanest around, but used a Dremel. Tried to clean it up a little bit with a little black paint marker, but looks pretty good. Hopefully it should fit. I don't know if I might be revisiting this to come and widen it a little bit more, but should do the trick. Filed it all down, so there's no jagged edges anywhere. It's nice and smooth to the touch. I got paint marker on myself now. If you do it in the engine bay though, it's probably not a bad idea to get a shop vac, suck out all the little metal shavings. That's what I just did. But yeah, that's that. That's about how much we took off. I probably could have made just around the hole a little bigger, but by the way it looks right now, let's see if I could do this one-handed. It should fit. It's lined up like this. It should sit right in there, so it's kind of hard to do filming and holding. But the only thing I'm worried about is this the revision plug. It might be a little too close under here, so we'll have to see once we get it in. But yeah, looking pretty good so far. We'll swap around to the other side and start taking off the stock inlet. Okay. I don't know if, I think you should be able to just twist the little pin. It's kind of hard to see, but there's like a little notch right in there. I think you're supposed to pop it out, so if you're using a screwdriver, pop it off and then pull. That was actually way easier than I thought. Okay, so I think we can just let that hang for now. There should be another one on the bottom side. I don't think we can get to it from here, so we'll start undoing these 2 bolts. Okay, so this is the clip that everyone has a hard time getting to. I broke one side off, as you can see right here. So what you want to do is get a screwdriver under it, and you want to push it outward. So kind of like that, and then it'll free around. There's like a little button that sits in between the 2 prongs. You free it and then just pull straight out. It kind of just pops itself back in. I don't think the clip really does a whole lot, so hopefully it's not bad that one broke off, but yeah, should be pretty easy. Okay, so now I'm doing both these bolts. Easiest with like a little multi-tool like this. Get them loose. And then these are retained, so they should just stay in there. Then the bottom side. And my light's dying. Oh, nice. All right. So kind of hard to see all the way down there, but you really need something pretty small to get in there. It's gonna take a while to back out with this, so I'm gonna just cut and then we'll roll to the next clip. So once you unscrew these, the bottom one I got unloosened with like a little multi-tool, but then I just loosened it the rest of the way with my fingers. It's pretty easy to get off and it pulls right out. The last thing is there's a little hose. Come on this side. Right down here, you can see there's kind of little ridges on it. You gotta press in and pull out. It can be kind of tricky. I think I almost had it. Of course, all these don't help that they're in the way. So press on the little grooves. You should feel it press all the way down. You kind of gotta. Okay, so you gotta come on both sides of it. There's two little grooves. Press one on each side, it'll expand, and then that's what depresses it off of this little lip, and you pull it straight out. You gotta kind of pull hard, but it should come right out. All right, so now you just take the O-ring, you put it in there. You wanna glue it a little bit to hold it in place, otherwise it might move on you. I think he used spray glue. I'm just gonna put a couple dabs of super glue right in the hole. Right in the lip, I should say. 4 little spots. And then let it sit. Alright, so now you're putting the new inlet pipe on. We got our O-ring in there. Probably easiest to start with the bottom one. You're gonna have to kind of use your fingers, wedge it down in here. Careful not to drop the bolt. And this line's getting in the way. Yeah, so you pretty much just gonna have to kind of finagle it and use probably 2 fingers to try and thread it in the hole. Okay, so I just got the bottom one in. What you gotta do is pretty much have the screw with like touching each of your middle fingers, and if we could get the camera to focus. And you're gonna sit here and wiggle it back and forth on the tip of your fingertips to thread it in. It's kind of tedious, but if you just sit there, you gotta do the bottom one first so you could rotate it out of the way. Sit there and just rotate it back and forth. You'll be able to thread it all the way in and then do the last final tighten with the multi-tool in there. So last one's the top one. It threads in real nice and easy, luckily. So if it's requiring any pressure, you're probably going in crooked. Like you see, it's pretty easy to go in. So we'll get these tightened down, and then we'll hook up the extension tube. Okay, so we got the extension tube hooked up to here. It's a little longer, so it's gonna make it a little awkward, but basically the bottom connection that you pulled off, this one, the extension tube goes into here, and you just snug it all the way down. You probably gotta get your fingers under it, but it should slide right over it. Might have to wiggle it in there a little bit. But yeah, come on this side. So then you can see it goes all the way down, touches the bottom right there. That's what you want. And then I'll have to try and see where I'm gonna route this. Should be able to turn it a little bit. And that's what I was afraid of, was this. I don't think, I don't think we want it to kink like that. I don't know, we might have to shorten this a little bit, but we'll see. Maybe we could get away with it like this if we have a little extra space. Let's see. Alright, so get that out of the way. We got our clamp on here. This needs to go back onto here. Just slides on. It should. Yeah. I think that's all the way on. Just get it nice and snug till it won't go on any further. That's pretty much all you do there. Alright, so now trying to get this slid on is going to be fun. I almost wish I went under this. Let's see. So, oh my god, this heat shield makes it such a pain in the ass. I don't know how we're gonna get. I got this fucking popping off. Alright, so slight change of plans. When I put the inlet on, it interferes with the air duct from the ECS shield right here. So instead of like trying to cut this out and all that shit, I'm just gonna remove it. It unbolts twice there, and then right here, I'm just gonna cut straight across and remove this little piece. It'll still keep the shielding around the filter, which whatever, that's fine. I was gonna remove all of it, and then I realized it was just held in with one little piece right here. So I'm gonna cut through that and then we'll be good. All right, so I finally got it on. Like I said, I had to remove the heat shield. It was just too close. It would have been cutting all of it up. So basically you want it to be, let's see if I can get lighting here. You want it to be the silicone all the way up to the edge of the billet inlet mount. So I had to fight it for so long. Basically like right under where it hits the charge pipe, it kind of squishes it a little bit, so I was forcing the hell out of it. It's hard to get that bottom, the underside lip of it down under. So I mean, I literally just had to press and press and press until that finally gave. The one thing I made a mistake of, I had the clamp sitting back here, and after I got it on, I could not get the clamp across. So luckily, this has a little bolt on the end, undo it all the way, pull the screw out, you could slide the clamp under and then rebolt it together. I would have liked to have this a little nicer, but not the end of the world. So that's on. We just got to put that in. We kind of got a little kink going on with the extra hose down here. I'm probably gonna have to cut that and shorten that up a little bit, but yeah, coming together. So far, so good. we'll check back in once. I'm gonna trim this up a little bit, see if I could get it to not kink, and then get this other fitting on, make sure that's snug, and we should be good to go. Okay guys, we have it completely installed. It was a bitch. So kind of like I said in the last clip, hardest takeaways or things to focus on is getting the silicone under the lip of the billet mount and in between the charge pipe. So that, you know, it literally required a lot of force, like completely shoving it in there until it stretched under and around. And then you got the clamp on it, that's good. This wasn't too fun. You can kind of see how far I got it on. I don't think it goes much further because I was shoving that on too. But yeah, it should just sit right in place. It's pretty snug. It doesn't like clip or anything like the factory one did. I mean, maybe that's because I broke the clip on mine, but yeah, it fits nice and snug in there. This, I ended up going back and trimming the new pipe, the new extension hose. I trimmed a little bit off for how it currently sits. I don't have a light with me right now, but back tucked under there is where it connects to the OEM plug. And then, yeah, we removed the remaining ECS heat shield, and I actually had to trim a little bit of the inlet hose, the end of it. It was too far for the filter that I'm currently running. It's an AFE. I can show you the part number in a minute. But yeah, it's all mounted. I got it kind of tucked in here right now, pretty snug. The heat shield ended up working on this side. Not too bad. But yeah, that's currently how it looks. I'll hopefully get some pictures of it here pretty soon and then take it for a rip. A couple things. So the extra hose, I ended up cutting 6.5 inches off of how it came. So otherwise it was kinking up in here. I don't know how big of a deal it would be. I don't think that's really doing much. Aside from that, we had to cut about, this was like 2 1/4 or 1 1/4. Hold on, let me double check. I'm pretty sure it was 1 1/4. 1 3/4, my bad. So for the filter I'm running, 1 3/4. Cut that off with a box cutter, cut pretty easily. And yeah, we got it all tightened down. It's nice and snug, doesn't go anywhere. Tightened everything. It is good to go. So I'll get some pictures. I should have it all posted in my build log too on Audi Zine. If you want to check it out, I can link that below. I'll throw like, you know, the little tips I had for it and stuff. And hopefully this video turns out not too bad and everyone else can start getting theirs on. All right, thank you. All right, one last thing actually. So these are the multi-tools I used. They're Craftsman, you can use any brand. These are huge. So I tried using this little socket. It was too big to fit in there to get that bottom bolt on the inlet. So definitely want to grab one of these with the little bits. It was like a 3-pack, so it's got each angle. It was super helpful. I ended up using both of them. Those were a game changer. I don't think I could have done it without it, to be honest. So definitely worth picking up those if you don't have them, or if you have a super small ratchet. I think that's what Johan used. That'll probably work too, but the one I had, it didn't. But yeah, that's kind of it for tools. I didn't have anything else special. It was just that and a screwdriver really, and then ratchets to tighten down the clamps. But all right, just wanted to throw that in there. Thanks.